Hello everyone and welcome back. Um, yeah, this is the team building video for week 1 of the ODL, the Oregon Draft League. Our opponent this week is Mac with their team Scottish Soul Galeos, and yeah, you see in front of you graph, I think, and with both squads. If you don't know what those colored points mean, the red point or mark means it's that the Pokemon has a really good matchup or is a huge threat. The yellow point or mark means it's alright, it's fine. And the green point or mark means not really a good matchup, or the Pokemon is in general not really that good or great, I don't know. So yeah, I think we will end. Now I will go over the matchup and what I think are the threats on both sides, and after that I will go over to Showdown and basically show you my team and what I've built for this week, and explain a little bit why I chose the mons that I chose and stuff like that. So let's just start with Mac's team, and first up is Iron Bundle with 18 with 18 points. Iron Bundle is always a pretty big threat. Basically, water and ice are really good offensive typing, especially with freeze dry. So there's not a lot that can check, especially check defensively in Iron Bundle. There are certain ones in my team which could potentially handle Iron Bundle. The problem is that especially Specs Iron Bundle could overwhelm those mons if I'm not careful enough. And especially some it's annoying. It's really fast, so I don't have that many Pokemon to choose from for example a Scarf user to outspeed it. I don't have anything that outspeeds it naturally, so yeah, that's also, that option's also off the table. It can easily give momentum with U-turn or flip turn. It, especially with its speed, it hits it hits like a train. And so yeah, Iron Bundle is an issue. For example, Rotom Wash would be a great defensive check if it didn't have freeze dry. Yeah, you see, that's pretty annoying. So yeah, Iron Bundle is always a huge threat, and you have always at least have one Pokemon specifically to check Iron Bundle, because this Pokemon can get out of hand really quickly. With either as I already mentioned, choice specs. On the ladder you see also Iron Bundle with heavy duty boots quite a lot, I think. I don't know, I don't really play ladder, so but I saw it in the damage calc, and I was like, I don't know. It doesn't really like be it doesn't really is like that threatening with boots. Because I have a lot more checks for it in that case, so I'm happy if Mac decides to play Iron Bundle with heavy duty boots, but you could also bring like set with booster energy, for example, to boost its speed, to be more annoying, so that like no Scarfer that I could build except like not a single Scarfer which I could build outspeeds it. So yeah, Iron Bundle is pretty annoying. The only like good thing is that it's only like water step, or it's only viable water step, I should rather say, is Hydro Pump. So maybe it misses, but with my luck it's every single Hydro Pump. We will see. Next up is Ogerpon Heart Flame. Ogerpon Heart Flame is again pretty fast with 110 base speed, so it ties with Ragnarok Dusk, for example. The only two Pokemon I have which could outspeed it naturally are really good against it offensively, which are Tornadus Therian and Celezo. But holy shit, this thing deals damage. Like, I have checks for it, but those are not the best answers, and you will see the more I go into, or the further I go into this this analysis, I say, the more clear it becomes. Like, I had a huge problem with Max offense. Like, their offense can or could be really overwhelming for my team. So that's a huge problem, and Ogerpon, like, is one of the main reasons why. Luckily, it can't like be Choice Band or Choice Scarf, for example. That's a plus, I think. But yeah, Fire and Grass is pretty good coverage overall for my squad. Like, the Pokemon which resist fire, for example, like Rotom Wash is the only Pokemon in my squad, I think, which is defensively and is a good switch into fire type moves. But this thing has like Power Whip, for example, so Rotom Wash is not a switch in. The only Pokemon which resists both fire and grass is Celezo, and Celezo is not really defensively. So yeah, it can be like, yeah, it gets like beaten pretty solidly from Ogerpon. But the benefit of Celezo in this case is that Ogerpon doesn't really want to be like, doesn't want to stay in against it, because Sludge Wave, for example, hurts quite a lot. But yeah, again, I've built checks, quote unquote, against it, but those are solid. But like, again, max offense can become pretty overwhelming pretty fast. But it has also like solid utility moves. Ogerpon, for example, Knock Off is always annoying because items, and I wanna like keep items on my mons. but it has also spikes, for example, and yeah, if maybe you've already like recognized that his hazard game is not the best. It has 3 hazard setters and only 1 hazard removal, so yeah. So I could potentially see spikes on Ogapon if he really values it. It has reliable recovery on its own, which is also so I can't really like, or if he really does have recovery on Ogapon, I can't like just continuously chip it down over the course of the game, because you can always like recover it. So yeah, but it has also momentum, so even if I have a defensive check against it, like on the field, he can just simply like U-turn and like, for example, go into something like Iron Bundle. So yeah, but it has also, which I think is maybe important to mention, it has Throat Chop. Now why is that important? I have Sylveon, and you always love to play Sylveon with Hyper Voice. So he could also bring that because his switch-ins into a Hyper Voice of Sylveon are quite limited, to say the least. Like, his only resistance against Fairy is Amoonguss, and as you already can see again, I don't really see Amoonguss as that good in the matchup. So yeah, he could also bring that. Overall, pretty annoying Pokemon. Yeah, next up is Galarian Zapdos. This thing again hits like a truck. It has like also knock-off, U-turn, and again Throat Chop, which you could. So I'm also like expecting that he has either Throat Chop or he don't really need it. Throat Chop or knock-off. Now that I think about it, because Brave Bird probably hits Necrozma, for example, harder than those two moves because of Prism Armor. But yeah, if he brings Zapdos, I think it will probably be like his Scarfer, because I think Scarfed Zapdos is pretty good in this matchup overall. Sure, it loses some power against Pokemon like Tornadus or Rotom Wash or Sylveon, but with if he predicts good and right, then he can like do huge damage to my and like break through my team pretty good with Scarfed Zapdos. For example, sure, I can always like switch into close combat or his fighting step of choice. I can switch into that like Tornadus or Necrozma or Sylveon. But if he predicts that and uses Brave Bird instead, then I have an issue, because though Brave Bird does too much, let's just say. Also, Scarf Zapdos beats Lycanroc, for example, except like Scarf Lycanroc, but Scarf Lycanroc is not really that good. So yeah, that's an issue. And other potential Scarf users for me like can't really threaten it that good, because they're either slower or they don't really hit that hard. So yeah, Zapdos is also like an issue. Next up, Thundurus Therian. I'm probably the Pokemon I'm most scared of because I wasn't really able to like build a good check against it. For example, my grass type, which could like switch into its electric step. Brute Bonnet is not good at all in this matchup, and even if it would be like at least decent, Thundurus has Focus Blast for it. Same for Flygon. Flygon is also not the best in this matchup, and spoiler alert, I don't have either Flygon or Brute Bonnet in my team for this week, so he can like Volt Switch, click Volt Switch for free. The coverage is really good. Like he has Thunderbolt or Electric Step for Thundurus and for Tornadus, sorry. Empoleon, Rotomorph, all those. He has coverage in form of Focus Blast for Komala, for Brute Bonnet, for Lycanroc. He also hits Empoleon very effectively with Focus Blast, but yeah. He could have Psychic for Girder or for Salazzle. If he's scared of Sylveon, he could play Sludge Wave or Sludge Bomb. 101 base speed is pretty solid. So the only 3 Pokemon which outspeeded naturally for my team are Tornadus, which basically does nothing against Thundurus, which is also a huge argument for to bring Thundurus in this matchup, because as you already can see, I marked Tornadus as red. So yeah, Tornadus Lycanroc, which is scary for Thundurus, but I can't really switch it into a Thundurus, except with like a slow U-turn or slow momentum in general, or if if I sack something. And Salazzle, which also I can't really switch into a Thundurus. And Salazzle does not threaten Thundurus all that much in return, at least a full Thundurus. So yeah. Next up is Drago, whatever, for 11 points. I almost marked it green, but I marked it yellow. The thing is, this Pokemon does huge damage with its Dragon Step. Even to something bulky like Empoleon. And he doesn't really need to click the Dragon Step for Empoleon because he has Earth Power. The issue with Regidrago in this matchup is Sylveon. Sylveon walls this thing to eternity. Or yeah, like Regidrago does literally nothing to Sylveon. I can always switch Sylveon in, and he has to switch out because Sylveon can kill Regidrago, and you want to have as much HP as possible with Regidrago because of its stupid signature move, which is a Dragon type Water Sprout, as far as I know. So yeah, Sylveon is a huge problem, but other than that, it's fine, I guess. So yeah, he could bring it, but if he wants to have like a 5th breaker besides Iron Bundle, Ogerpon, Zapdos and Thundurus, but yeah, I don't know. Next up is Incineroar. Incineroar is solid defensively. It's his only like psychic resistance, so he could bring it for Necrozma. Of course, Necrozma has like coverage options for Incineroar, but they don't really do that much damage to, especially to a specially defensive Incineroar. It has Intimidate, which could be good. For example, if I have Lightning Rock in, or if I have Lightning Rock on the field, and he just, like, for example, sacks Incineroar in order to get the Intimidate, in order to get that Intimidate debuff, I think it's called, or Intimidate drop, I should rather say, to safely, like, bring in Iron Bundle, for example, which should live in Stone Age, for example, at -1. But yeah, Incineroar has nice utility moves, or moves that support that his team pretty well. Specifically, Knock Off is always annoying, and Parting Shot also could be really annoying. But he could also, like, play the Will-O-Wisp, but I don't really see that, to be honest. Throat Chop again. Throat Chop is always annoying for Sylveon, for example. So yeah, he could bring it, but we'll just see. Next up is Amoonguss, and I don't really expect Amoonguss. The problem with Amoonguss is, first of all, I have a few Pokemon which pressure it quite a lot. Tornadus, Necrozma, Salazzle. So yeah, and in my opinion, it's a bit too passive in this matchup. Like, what will it gonna do? Like, click Spore? Okay, then one Pokemon sleeps on my team. That's annoying, but yeah, that's okay. But then Sleep Clause activates and he can't sleep any other Pokemon. And yeah, the only reason why he could bring it is Sylveon, if he's really that scared of Sylveon. But Sylveon has also potential coverage for Amoonguss, in form of Psyshock or Psychic. So yeah, I don't really see it. He could bring it, but I don't really see any reason to. Next up is his first Terra Captain with Cyclizar, and Cyclizar has, as you already can see, the Terra types Normal, Fire, and Ghost. First of all, I don't see it. I don't think he will bring it with as its Terra Captain. I think there's another Pokemon which is way more important with the Terra type, but we'll see later. Cyclizar is also naturally pretty fast, like it speed ties with my fastest Pokemon, Tornadus. But other than that, it's just fine. Like, you could bring it. For example, what if he's scared of, like, hazards? For example, Toxic Spikes from Salazzle. He could bring it because it's his only, like, hazard removal. Normal Step is always good against my team because I don't have a Ghost type, so he can, like, basically spam Normal Step for free if he wants to. But other than that, yeah, it brings fast momentum, but yeah, knock off, I guess. But other than that, fast taunt is also solid, I guess. But yeah, as I already said, it's fine. It doesn't really like. It's not like that great, but it's also like not that bad either. Next up is Comfy, and Comfy is yellow because it's always annoying to build against, because you always have to prep against it, because Core Mine Comfy can get out of hand pretty quickly. The question is, will he bring it? I don't really see it because, like for example, if he has a move slot issue, he has like he needs Draining Kiss as its stat when he plays like a Core Mine set. Now he needs a second coverage option, and the question is, what coverage will he play? If he plays Giga Drain, for example, to better like break Empoleon, Comfy gets walled by Salazzle, which is a huge issue because Salazzle is really good in this matchup. If he plays like Stored Power, for example, to break Salazzle, Empoleon walls it. So if and I don't know if he really like wants to play like Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, and Stored Power on the same set. But if he brings Comfy, I'm pretty sure he will like play Core Mine set, because that's the best set you could play on a Comfy. Next up is defensively speaking, probably his most important Pokemon, which is Darkspan. Why is that? Well, Darkspan has this pretty neat Terra typing Terra Ground, and its other Terra types are Stab, Fairy, and Fire. Why is Ground so important? Because if he doesn't bring Darkspan with the Terra type Ground, Lycanroc and Salazzle become like free. Like they ran rampant against his team. He has no natural rock resistance, no natural poison resistance, and spoiler alert, which is also the reason why Kumala is marked red, no natural normal resistance. So yeah, Darkspan is really important because with Terra Ground it checks Lycanroc really well. Salazzle doesn't do shit against it because he, thanks to its immunity, Darkspan has an immunity to fire, so I can't like click Fire Blast, for example. Sludge Wave doesn't really do anything. I can, best case scenario, Toxic it, I guess, but other than that, Salazzle doesn't do really that much against it. So yeah, this is a really important Pokemon on its team, and I expect for sure that he brings Darkspan. Next up is Dunsparce, and Dunsparce is his only Stealth Rocker. So that's always in this case that's always an argument to bring it, because Stealth Rock are always annoying for Tornadus, for Salazzle, and yeah. But not only that, the more I like spend time with the damage calculator, the more I realized, holy shit, like I knew Dunsparce with Eviolite was tanky, but I didn't really expect it to be that tanky. Like it hits pretty well. And with Woos, it can be annoying. It can be annoying defensively, but it also depends if he plays like especially defensive Dunsparce, because that would be better if Lycanroc would have in this case an easier time to break through it. If he plays a physically defensive Dunsparce, then Tornadus Therian, for example, would have an easier time to break through it. So yeah. And his last Pokemon is Speedops or Spidops, I don't know, for 3 points, and it's green because, let's just be honest, Speedops sucks. There is an argument to bring it against me, but the only argument is Sticky Web. If he's not afraid of Empoleon, because Empoleon gets its special attack boost from Sticky Web, if he doesn't care or doesn't expect Empoleon, then he could bring it. For example, Elite Speedops with Focus Sash and Sticky Web, just to bring it, just to lay it, because it annoys Lycanroc and Salazzle. So yeah, but other than that, I don't really see an argument for Speedops. Next up, and I will try to wrap this matchup analysis a little bit faster now, because we go over my team and what I think are the threats here. First of all, Tornadus Therian. Look at its team and tell me what. And yeah, it's only like switch in or solid switching into Hurricane, for example, is Thundurus. And Thundurus gets chipped down pretty good or pretty fast also, because he doesn't have, like, for example, a good wish user except Duxpan, which is also an argument for Duxpan, by the way. But other than that, if he doesn't bring Duxpan, for example, then yeah, it gets chipped down. It also gets chipped down if he wants to switch into Tornadus, and if he does switch Thundurus into it, then that's fine, because I can just U-turn out and recover with Regenerator. And yeah, Tornadus has a really, really good matchup, both offensively and kind of defensively. So yeah, next up is Necrozma. Necrozma is also really pretty good. It has like, maybe its yellow marking is a bit more orange now that I think about it, because yeah, it's only switching into Psychic Stab is Incineroar, so that means, for example, Carmine Necrozma or Dragon Dance Necrozma could be really devastating. So he has to prep something against setup Necrozma, because if he doesn't, Necrozma can become an issue. Spoiler alert, I don't bring Necrozma with any setup in this week, but yeah, it's also pretty good defensively, because it's one of my only like good defensive checks against Ogerpon, for example. So yeah, Necrozma is pretty good. Next up is Rotom Wash, and Rotom Wash is a bit more green in its marking, simply because it can get be overwhelmed, I think. Iron Bundle is a problem. Ogerpon is a problem. So yeah, it can do some nice things. For example, I can switch it into its Zapdos, which is locked into Brave Bird, for example. I could switch it in, and click Will-O-Wisp to burn something. Hopefully Zapdos. Volt Switch is always nice, because again, his only... That's also an issue of Max team, is that his only good Volt Switch absorb is Thundurus. So yeah, he would have to switch Thundurus into Rotom if he wants to prevent Volt Switch, or Terra Ground Darkspan, but Terra Ground Darkspan has the issue of Hydro Pump. So yeah, Rotom Wash is solid, but not more than that. Next up is Lycanroc. Lycanroc, as I already mentioned or teased, Lycanroc is my best offensive threat in this matchup. If he doesn't have Terrat his Darkspan yet, I can always click Stone Edge for free, and a lot of Pokemon just drop on his side. So yeah, Lycanroc is just, in this matchup, Stone Edge or Rock Stab goes brr. That's all Lycanroc has to do in this matchup, and it does it really good. Empoleon is also solid because it can switch into some threats like Iron Bundle once or twice. Again, competitive is also good if he brings Sticky Web or for Incineroar's Intimidate, or Parting Shot also. But yeah, it struggles with Zapdos and Thundurus, which holds it back. So yeah, it's fine, I guess, but more than that. Sylvan is pretty good, again, because Amoonguss is his only really good switch into Hyper Voice or Moonblast or Fairy Step in general. So yeah, which is always nice. Baton Pass for momentum are also really good. It can switch into most things at least once, if I have to. So yeah. Next up is Celeste. Celeste is also red because Poison is insane against his team. Again, the only resistance against Sludge Wave is Darkspan, and I can just poison Darkspan. So yeah, that's a non-issue. It outspeeds most of his team. The only Pokemon that says it doesn't outspeed are Iron Bundle and Cyclizar. I don't really have the exact calcs in mind with Cyclizar, but I'm pretty sure I can stay in at least for one turn against it and poison it, or click Sludge Wave and do a lot or pretty good amount of damage. And Iron Bundle doesn't really want to switch into Sludge Wave. Yeah, it gets pretty good. It gets pretty good chip from it. I think it's also rolled for a 2-hit KO if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so this is nice in this matchup. Flygon is almost green, simply because it would be pretty nice. For example, a Scarf Flygon. The problem with Scarf Flygon is simply the damage output. It doesn't do enough damage in this matchup because most of Max threats are also bulky, especially physically bulky. Iron Bundle, for example, is not threatened at all by Flygon, and Flygon has nightmares of Iron Bundle and its Ice Beam or Freeze Dry. So yeah, especially Flygon or especially offensive Flygon does even less damage. More against Iron Bundle, yeah, that would be nice, but overall less. So yeah, nice Nice. Speedy U-turn would be cool, or speedy stealth rock, but other than that, nah. Next up is Brute Bonnet, and Brute Bonnet, when I began the team building, when I like do a team building, the first thing after I like write down the matchup and stuff like that, I just randomly like use the damage calculator and I just calc a bit, like with all mons that I have, with all mons that my opponent have, and just look if I find some good niches or some like defensive checks for Pokemon through like just randomly calcing. And yeah, I did some calcs with Brute Bonnet at the beginning, and I just realized like almost immediately Brute Bonnet is not viable in this matchup. The issues are Iron Bundle, Ogerpon, Zapdos, Thunderous, Incineroar. All those threats can pressure Brute Bonnet really hard. Its typing is not good offensively in this matchup either, because Grass and Dark, especially Dark, are pretty bad in this matchup offensively. So yeah, not that matchup for Brute Bonnet, and I don't think I spoil anything if I say I didn't consider Brute Bonnet that at all in this matchup. Next up is Girder. Girder is also pretty solid because it tanks more than you think it would. And it does more damage than you think it would. The Fog could be nice for Sticky Web if I'm scared of it, or Stealth Walk or anything like that, or hazards in general. Mach Punch is also always nice, especially if your opponent has Iron Bundle, because at a certain threshold I can kill, or I can revenge kill Iron Bundle with Girder. So yeah, it's solid. It's really solid. It's better than I expected at first. So yeah. Next up is Komala. Komala is pretty much my best, and I think even like only good or at least decent check against Specs Iron Bundle, because it's the only Pokemon out of my team that lives at least 2 Hydro Pumps. So yeah, but other than that, it can spam like normal stab for free, which is insane, because Body Slam is always good because he has no Ghost type naturally, so I can spam Body Slam for free and Fish for Paralysis, which could be really huge, especially on like Iron Bundle, Ogerpon, Zapdos or Thunderous. Yeah, it tanks specially defensive really well. It lacks recovery outside of Wish, unfortunately. So yeah, I have to play with it really carefully or cautiously, in order that so that it can like live at as long as possible and be like at good health as long as possible, in order to check Iron Bundle, for example. So yeah, that's the matchup. Overall, I think it's pretty. It's interesting because we both have huge threats on our side, so it's pretty even, I would say. So yeah, now there's a quick cut, and we will see each other on Charlotte again. All right. So here we are. In Charlotte, and the first Pokemon I obviously like built and put in my team was Lycanroc Dusk Philion. So simply choice band with Stone Edge, Close Combat, Play Rough, and Accelerock. It's speed creep to outspeed a full speed Thunderous Therian. And full attack, and the rest just went into HP. Yeah, I was thinking about like a loaded dice set with Rock Blast, but then I wouldn't hit like potentially important rolls. For example, with Choice Band, I have a roll to one hit Regidrago with Play Rough. And so I just wanted to have like the power of Choice Band. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I hope it will do good work. We will see. Next up is Komala, as I maybe already like mentioned. Yeah, Assault Vest, heavily special defensive. The reason for it is, as I already mentioned, Iron Bundle. With this investment, Hydro Pump is only a 3-hit KO. Specs Hydro Pump, I should say. I'm not really sure right now why I put 32 EVs in attack, but it's for some role, I'm sure. Sorry, I built the set like a few days ago, so but yeah, the rest just went into physical bulk. I don't really need init investment. And Body Slam, Superpower, Knockoff, and U-Turn. Superpower is obviously for Iron Bundle. It can be nice for Incineroar, Cyclizar, and Dunsparce. So yeah, fighting is also overall a pretty solid coverage. Knockoff, it's Knockoff, so yeah, I can also always click that. And U-Turn for momentum, which is also and U-Turn is also a reason why I didn't put any investment into speed, because I'd rather have like a slow U-Turn to switch in, like for example Lycanroc, than to have a fast U-Turn. And with its speed here, the only Pokemon which could outspeed is Incineroar with 60 base speed, but then so be it. Yeah, and Body Slam. I was thinking about Double Edge, because Double Edge does really good damage. The issue is that I chip myself with it, and I don't really want that. And I think the paralysis, or the chance for a paralysis is better with Body Slam. And my game plan is more to chip Max Mons and to clean up with Lycanroc, for example, or in the end then to like do a lot of damage instantly. So yeah, that's Komala. I'm pretty sure it will do a good job. I'm pretty confident. Next up, of course, Tornadoes. No, obviously, I play Wildlands. The issue is because I play it because Hurricane and Focus Blast, and I need both of those moves. With Hurricane, I hit certain rolls. For example, I have this much special attack investment so that I'm able to 2-hit KO Iron Bundle with Hurricane, which in my opinion is important, because if he switches Iron Bundle into Tornadoes for some reason, I wanted to do as much damage as possible with Hurricane, because Hurricane is pretty spammable, as I already mentioned. The speed investment is so that I'm outspeeding Ogapon, and the rest just went into bulk. So yeah, Focus Blast is important because of Incineroar, but other than that, yeah, that's Tornado's knockoff. Just, yeah, I don't really need any other move. And also because he could potentially bring Dunsparce with Stealth Rock, but then so be it. But if he doesn't bring, then Right Lance is better than Boots. So that's also why I didn't play Boots this week. I had like Boots on it for a very long time. White Lance was more of a last second decision. I hope that's what it's called. So yeah, let's see how it will perform. Please don't miss Tornadoes, please. Next up is my physically defensive check, which is Necrozma. Because it's one of my only like good or halfway decent checks against Ogerpon. So I wanted to play it. Yeah, most of it went into the physical bulk. I don't need speed, and Psychic and Power Gem hits everything in max squad, at least neutral. So yeah, Stealth Rock, because I would like to have rocks for because he can only play like Boots once. And Ogerpon can't have Boots at all, so that's pretty nice to chip Ogerpon that way. Yeah, Power Gem is just for to hit Iron Bundle super effectively, to hit Thunderous super effectively, Ogerpon, and especially Incineroar, because if he doesn't bring Incineroar, then I will probably like almost always click Psychic and don't really like bother with using Power Gem, because in this case I can spam Psychic for free. And Reliable Recovery, Rocky Helmet, because I'm playing the leftovers on another Pokemon, and Rocky Helmet is just nice to do more chip damage on his physical threats like Zapdos or Ogerpon, so that they can't even like use U-turn for free, and so they get even then more chip. Or for Draining Kiss, for example, could be also maybe important. A bit into the special attack, and the rest just in the special bulk. Yeah. Next up is Girder. I'm not really sure anymore why I play this exact amount of attack investment. I think it's because of Iron Bundle, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. Yeah, Drain Punch, Stone Edge, Ice Punch, and Mach Punch. Again, I'm playing Komala without Rapid Spin, and I don't play Girder with Defog because I don't think hazard removal is that important in this matchup, to be honest. Interestingly, I play this much special defense investment because with this investment, a Iron Bundle without a damage boosting item, so without specs or wise glasses or something like that, has only like a 3% chance to 2-hit KO Iron Bundle with this Girder with this investment. I do at least like 80-85% with Drain Punch in return. With this investment, I have a chance to kill an Iron Bundle at like 50% with Mach Punch. Stone Edge again is also nice coverage for Thunderous, for example, for mons that like can tank Drain Punch easily, or for Ogerpon or for something like that, and Ice Punch for Zapdos, for example, or for Regidrago or for Amoonguss. No, you get the point. So yeah, that's good. Also, I forgot to mention I play Terra Fairy on Komala, The reason is to get a better matchup against Zapdos, so that Komala is not that threatened anymore by Zapdos. For example, I can tank close combat easier. So yeah, that's the main reason. I thought, why not? It could come up. So yeah, that's also Götter. And the last Pokemon, or I should rather say Götter and the last Pokemon, I really struggled with because I couldn't really decide which Pokemon I wanted to like put in the team as the last pick, but I chose Sylveon. Defensively Sylveon more. With Moonblast, Baton Pass, Wish, Protect. Again, Wish and Baton Pass are always really nice to have. I can potentially like stall a bit with Protect. I play the Leftovers because Leftovers are really good on Sylveon. And I can Moonblast instead of Hyper Voice. Now why is that? The reason is because as I mentioned in the matchup analysis, I don't wanna be like completely walled by some random throat chop bullshit. So that's why I play Moonblast. Yeah, I would hit like certain rolls with it, or certain like damage thresholds. For example, I don't think I have like a chance to 1-hit KO Ricky Drago with Moonblast. With Hyper Voice, I would have at least chance to 1-hit KO it, but that's fine. Sylveon isn't really supposed to like make kills in this match. More so, it's more supposed to support the rest of the team with, for example, Wish for Necrozma, for Komala, especially for Komala, because Komala has no reliable recovery on its own. At least the Komala that I build, or Götter, for example, too, or Lycanroc, no? You know, Baton Pass to bring in other threats or other Pokemon like Götter, no? All those other Pokemon. So yeah, why did I have a difficult decision? That's because I really wanted to play Salazzle, because as I already mentioned, Salazzle has a fantastic matchup. But the more I thought about it, I had a set of Salazzle with Black Sludge and Sludge Wave, Toxic, Protect, and Substitute, like the usual stally Salazzle, because it most likely would have performed good, at least. But in the end, I felt more confident overall with Götter and Sylveon, because I think, yeah, Salazzle could work. But the problem is, first of all, I don't feel confident because I don't have any experience with Salazzle. And I have more experience with Götter and Sylveon, so that's one of the main reasons why I felt more confident with those two. But also because, yeah, Salazzle could work, and Salazzle could realistically, and to be honest, it could be like the mon to decide this match, and to like basically almost destroy single-handedly Max team. But it could also do like basically nothing and just die, and that would be it, and I would be like 5-6, and I don't want to risk that. I rather wanted to play it safe, especially in week 1. So yeah, maybe another time, we will see. So yeah, that's my team. Choice Band Lycanroc Dusk, Assault Vest Komala, Wildlands Tornadus Therian, Rocky Helmet Necrozma, Eviolite Götter, and Leftovers Sylveon. Overall, more defensively, I think, and I hope not too passively, because One of my biggest fears, or the thing I was probably most scared of, was that my team would end up to be too passive, or that it wouldn't do like enough damage to in return. But I had to play to build it more defensively because of Max, like huge offensive threats such as Iron Bundle, Ogapon, Galazapdos, Thunder-ST, and all of that. Also, what I just remembered, one of the main arguments for Sylveon was for me Regidrago, because if I don't bring Sylveon, then Regidrago can just run rampant, and I wanted to avoid that as well. So yeah, that's my team. I didn't have like checked all the hardware and stuff, my capture card and all of that, so I don't know for certain yet if all of that works with recording, but I hope it will. So if it works, then you will see the match itself tomorrow. And yeah, I hope it was not too boring. Or I'm not really sure how long it is, but we will see. If you enjoyed it, then I don't know, leave a like or subscribe. Maybe leave a comment. And yeah, we will see, I will see you in the next video. Bye.